Hi. Hey, when you start a martial art, you gotta start somewhere. So this is like guard basics. Give you some basic options for controlling the guy, some of the things that you want to focus on. A lot of the stuff that I wished I was taught on day one when I started jiu-jitsu, and I think maybe even a touch of jiu-jitsu history, but certainly not enough to be boring. Maybe it'll be boring, I don't know. Tom's gonna pop a zit on his knee and we're gonna show you some jiu-jitsu.
I'm just taking the stitches out of there.
Are you really?
I think there's one in there. I don't know.
Alright. The basics to start out. So a few years back, jiu-jitsu was introduced to contemporary American society with the UFC and Royce Gracie. Now Royce was a little tiny dude, he's like 180 pounds, but he took down the first few UFCs using jiu-jitsu in a position known as the guard. Not only was he smaller than everyone, he won while fighting from his back with dudes between his legs. Not the most masculine position. So Royce would literally grab people if he couldn't take them down himself and pull them into his guard on his back. Now nowadays fighters don't really do this because they know better. However, for your purposes, it's a good place to start learning jiu-jitsu because, you know, it's kind of where it all began. The first thing you need to realize in the guard is that your legs need to be locked tight. And this is kind of like the fundamental bit of control that you really have around this dude. So it's good to get your legs strong. You can do sit-ups with your legs wrapped around a heavy bag if you want to exercise this. I need to control this guy with my legs. And the next thing that I really need to do is control his arms. Because he's going to want to use these to punch me. As Tom is smart enough to do right now. He's a big dumb animal. I got two ways that I prefer to control this guy's arms. The first is called the overhook. To demonstrate an overhook, basically you're going to reach your arm over this guy's arm and lock it up tight. Now an overhook's not a permanent position. I can't keep this guy here forever because if he's smart, he's gonna start pulling out. Now, I won't, of course, make it that easy for him, but Tom being good at jiu-jitsu, he's gonna take his time, he's gonna be patient. This is starting to exhaust my arm. Eventually, once my arm gets tired enough, he'll pull his arm out in one movement and probably come down with an elbow or a fist. And Tom has broken my face before with an elbow, so I wouldn't even be surprised that he hit me with one right now. A couple of details from the overhook real fast. For one, I like to get as high on this guy's arm as possible. And I like to actually push my hand back down towards the ground. That's important. If you're just trying to kind of squeeze in, almost like it's a headlock, it's gonna be really easy for him to pull out. If I put my arm over like this, he goes to pull up, Tom, and that's a lot harder for him to get out because I'm literally directing my arm in the opposite direction. This might take a little extra flexibility. So one of the things you can do to build this is put the back of your hand on your body and kind of like pull on your own chicken wing a little bit. Oh my God. Right on the back of the shoulder. Yeah, that'll build it up. Now, the second way that I like to control a dude's arm is called a flipper grip. This is more advanced, it's a little tougher for people to get for a while because they gotta get their hands and their wrists, wrists. They gotta get their hands and their wrists stronger. So, the first thing you need to do is curl your hands kind of like this. Now, the main premise of a flipper grip is that I got his arms controlled by my hands and my elbows are inside his arms. If Tom goes to rear back to punch me, he can't really do it because this stops him. Now if he does get that arm reared back, so go ahead and rear that back, and then he goes to punch me, I still have this forearm in between my fist, or rather his fist, and my face. Making sure the guy can't punch you in the face is probably the first thing you should do if you end up on your back. Now, once I have his arms somewhat controlled, I need to start to control him better with my legs. And by the way, nobody ever taught me this crap when I was starting out in jiu-jitsu, and I really wish that somebody had because it would have saved me a lot of time. So let's say I have two flipper grips on Tom, so I have his legs, or his arms fairly well controlled. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump my guard higher. Now the reason why you do this is because you want leverage on his torso. Right here I'll have a low guard. If Tom wants to, he can posture up, he can push down, he can punch the crap out of me. All bad things for me. Now, if I lock my legs higher on his back, now Tom tries to posture up,
it's a little bit tougher for him.
I'll get it.
Yeah, he'll get there eventually. But one way or the other, I can be doing other stuff to drag him in, keep his distance close.
The more distance this guy is able to make by posturing up, the more he's going to be able to mess up your face with his punches.
Also, something else I want you to take a real quick note of. When I jump my legs high up on his back, my knees and the tops of my thighs are at the back of his arms. So really, that kind of affects Tom's ability to wind up another punch. Not only does it make it tougher for him to posture up, again, just like this part of the flipper grip, now preventing him from actually executing the mechanics of his own punch. So that really that helps. This is a good position to start, or this is rather a few good positions to start in for basic control, and everything kind of stems from there. So that's what you want to be working towards.
So these are a handful of the things you want to think about when you first end up in guard. You want to keep your legs locked high around his body to keep him from posturing up and getting distance to hit you. You want to control his arms so that he can't easily strike you and he can't start to pass your guard by breaking your legs off of him. And then once you're reasonably secure in this position, you can start to work on your offense, which obviously involves either breaking his joints or choking him to sleep. Now the next video in this series will teach you how to build on this position and throw a move called the Kimura, which will basically teach you how to tear the guy's shoulder muscles to pieces should he make one simple little mistake. This video is on my website at howtofightnow.com. You can either click the link in the video description or you can type howtofightnow.com up in the search bar. Either way, you go there, the video is free. I'll teach you how to throw the Kimura. As a matter of fact, I cover a ton of submission moves on the website, so it's worth checking out. Did I mention it's free? Go to howtofightnow.com to learn more stuff.